Right now on IUSTV News, a change to IU's controversial expression activity policy, what the policy now says and why some are still pushing back.
Plus, 4 people hit by a car last week. The warning from IU police to pedestrians walking on campus.
And e-scooter and e-bike thefts are once again on the rise, where the latest reports happened and how you can keep yours from being next.
Are we staying cool, calm, and collected this week? Stay tuned and find out.
The IU Board of Trustees makes a change to the controversial expression activity policy. Thanks for joining us. I'm Pareese Payton.
And I'm Jasmin. You're watching IUSTV News. The new policy passed in August sets guidelines for when and where students can protest.
And it got starch pushback ever since. Our Tegan Emerson is in studio to walk us through some of the changes. Tegan.
That's right. This change comes after months of pushback. The original policy banned protest speeches and other expressive activities between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. That rule still applies, but with an exception for university-approved events. The change comes after many raised questions about the lines of students waiting for ESPN's College Game Day a few weeks back. IU says that doesn't break the policy and clarified the rules to match it. The original policy was made after state police arrested dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters in April. The policy now at the center of a lawsuit from the ACLU. We will, of course, keep you updated.
All right, Tegan, thank you. The Board of Trustees also signed off on increases to dorm and dining hall rates for next year. Rates will go up 2% for IU Bloomington, raising the standard room cost to around $12,500 a year. Dining rates will also increase by 2%. On-campus residence rates are going up for all IU regional campuses. IU Indy will see a 2% dorm rate increase and a 2.5% dining rate increase. At IU South Bend, the rates will go up 3% and will be the first year students will be required to buy a meal plan. All right, let's get a check of that weather because we have really turned out on fall mode, and rumor has it it's going to be very cold the next few days.
It's been so cold lately, just walking to class, having to pull out our jackets.
Getting into the week, we have had to pull out our jackets, but we can see we're staying and maintaining these 60-degree temps, with the highest being in areas like Brownstown and Washington. Getting into overnight, we start our night off at 61 and we end it at 60 with a little bit of rain, not too much of a difference. And again, going into the morning, we see the same things with clear skies all throughout the night. Throughout the morning. So same things, just maintaining those 60-degree temps. And then on the coming up, we see Tuesday rains, getting cold, and the weekend forecast.
IU police are investigating a string of e-scooter and e-bike thefts. They've happened at several locations across campus in the last few weeks. We're told an e-bike was taken from the Foster bike rack between November 5th and 7th. An e-scooter was stolen from the Simon Music Library on November 8th. Another was snagged between November 8th and 10th at Eigenman Hall. And an e-scooter was stolen from Franklin and Swain Halls on November 11th and 12th. Anyone with information on any of the thefts are asked to call IU Police.
IU police are also investigating a reported rape at Union Street Apartments. We're told the assault happened on October 27th and was reported to police on November 11th. The suspect is known to police and the case remains open. There have been 17 reported sexual assaults on the Bloomington campus since August. We've got a list of sexual assault preventions and resources on our website, IUSTV.com.
The need to hurry across IU's campus is a real one, but doing so has its risks.
That's why the IU police are sharing safety tips for pedestrians. Our Oliver Carr explains.
Following the football game on November 10th, 4 pedestrians, including 2 IU students, were struck at the intersection of 17th and Eagleson Avenue. Thankfully, everybody survived, but it serves as a stark reminder of the importance of being safe while walking around IU's campus.
One of the most important things we want people to know is that pedestrians only have the right-of-way when they're already in the crosswalk, and a lot of people don't know that. So if you are crossing, make sure you find a crosswalk. If one's not available to you, we highly recommend that you find a well-lit area to make sure you can cross the street safely. A big piece is paying attention, and with cell phones, there's a lot of distracted driving, even distracted walking. So if you're just listening to music or doing things that you think aren't taking too much of your attention away, they likely are. And safety is a group effort. It's not just the pedestrians or just the drivers. It's going to take everybody on campus. So it really is a group effort, and we just want to make sure that everyone is safe all the time.
As a part of that team effort, IUPD shared some of their driving tips, so be sure to stay alert at intersections, slow down at crosswalks, always yield to pedestrians, make sure not to pass other vehicles at crosswalks, and please avoid driving impaired.
A combined effort from both the city and its inhabitants can go a long way towards avoiding tragedy, like the one that took place here just last week. For IUSTV News, I'm Oliver Carr.
The full list of safety tips as well as more information regarding safety on IU's campus can be found on this story on our website, IUSTV.com. Changes are coming to the downtown area. You may have noticed plenty of construction the last few weeks. Well, one of those projects will bring back-in parking to part of 6th Street. This is between Walnut and Washington Streets. The city says back-in parking is safer and becoming a nationwide trend. No parking spots will be added or taken away with this change.
IU Dance Marathon had its 34th annual dance for Riley's Children's Hospital. IU Dance Marathon put 4,000 students to the test for a 36-hour event held at the Tennis Center. The event was headlined with appearances by IU President Pamela Whitten and IU head football coach Kurt Signetti. Dance Marathon has raised more than $53 million for Riley Children's Hospital since 1991.
Flu season is getting closer as we approach these winter months. The flu shots are free with insurance and offered to faculty, staff, and students enrolled at IU. The flu shots are by appointment only, and be prepared to bring a photo ID and university ID number. The Student Health Center is promoting the flu shot to keep IU healthy and when people travel on breaks.
It's important to get that before you'd be traveling, being in large groups. It helps you to have antibodies to hopefully prevent you from getting the flu if you are exposed to it, or at least have some antibodies built up.
You can find a list of dates and times to get a flu shot on this story on our website, IUSTV.com.
Career Day came to the media school this past Friday, giving students a chance to connect and learn from IU alumni in their fields. Students were invited to a luncheon event. There were also multiple multimedia-driven panels and one-on-one chats with professionals. The event, in partnership with the Walter Career Center and the IU Media School, aimed to help students build a connection in the industry. Nearly 24 IU alumni came back to talk to students, and one of them is Lucy Rainey, a career coach and IU alumni who led a panel on career advice for students.
Media Career Day is so important for our students here at the Media School because it really offers a lot of great information, perspective, and connection.
Our Mike Badrov attended Career Day and will have a full recap on tomorrow IUSTV News. McDonald's is still reeling from that massive E. coli outbreak last month.
Still ahead, how much the company has spent so far in trying to bring customers back. Plus, more financial turbulence for Spirit Airlines, why the company is now filing for bankruptcy.
But first, you may have noticed construction happening across the street from Briscoe. What's going up behind the fences? We'll tell you about it on the other side of the break. If you drove down Fee Lane, chances are you've seen the red fencing and construction crews, but what is going on behind it?
Our Sydney Moore found out.
Yeah, if you take a look right behind me, they are currently working on the new outdoor recreational sports park. After talking with Executive Director of Recreational Sports, Chris Arvin, this outdoor park is going to accommodate many outdoor sports.
The new park aims to expand their fitness and sports spaces on campus.
Our fitness spaces are at capacity a lot of times. So we wanted to try to gain some fitness space wherever we could, so we partnered with the National Fitness Campaign.
So we work with municipalities and then education partners, which include high schools, colleges, and universities, to bring the campaign to the community. So it involves physical infrastructure like the fitness court that has been installed at IU.
This new park will accommodate many outdoor sports, including pickleball, futsal, basketball, and an outdoor fitness center.
The new park is located at the corner of East 17th and North Fee Lane, directly across from the Briscoe Quad dorms.
So we're looking at the built environment. How do we reduce barriers for entry?
This will be open for use from dusk to dawn. Actually, we will have lights out there. It's designed so that students can just use it whenever they feel like it.
Arvin says he is most looking forward to the one part of the park that remains from the old structure, the basketball court.
I'm a basketball guy. I'm a big IU basketball fan. The court will actually look like, or it will resemble the court in Assembly Hall.
Now, an opening date has not yet been announced, but for more updates, you can visit our website at IUSTV.com. In Bloomington, I'm Sydney Moore, IUSTV News.
McDonald's is trying to win back customers after last month's E. coli outbreak. The outbreak was linked to the onions and the quarter pounder burgers. More than 100 people got sick and the chain sales nosedived. Now, McDonald's is investing $100 million to help get business back on track. $35 million will go toward a marketing campaign for a new chicken nuggets value meal, and $65 million will go toward helping the franchise most affected by the outbreak. McDonald's said recent tests showed no E. coli in its food. The quarter pounder burger has returned to menus nationwide.
Spirit Airlines has filed bankruptcy protection. The airline says guests can continue to book and fly as normal as it restructures its debt. The company expects its common stock to be canceled and have no value. Spirit was left with little options as it faced mounting losses and $3.1 billion in long-term debt. It's possible Spirit can file for bankruptcy and emerge stronger on the other side, but it could also end up being bought by another airline or be forced to liquidate.
A record number of Americans could be on the move this Thanksgiving. AAA expects nearly 80 million people will travel at least 50 miles over the holiday week. That's 1.7 million more travelers than last year. Most people will be getting to their destination by car. Roads are expected to be most crowded the Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and the Sunday and Monday after. The nation's airports are also expecting large crowds. AAA says nearly 6 million people will be traveling by plane. The busiest day will likely be Sunday, December 1st. The latest data shows inflation ticked up slightly last month. The higher prices come just as Americans get ready to celebrate Thanksgiving.
So how will inflation impacting your grocery bill? Jen Sullivan reports in today's Consumer Watch.
Hosting Thanksgiving this year may gobble up your wallet. Shoppers are expecting to spend an average of about $431 this year. That's up 19% from last year, according to LendingTree.
19% is a big jump.
Matt Schultz with LendingTree says inflation is a big concern for consumers. A recent LendingTree survey found 27% of shoppers say they'll change food choices because of high prices.
Anybody who is going into this Thanksgiving season expecting that they're going to be able to get a little more bang for their buck this year than they did last year is going to be pretty disappointed.
The latest Consumer Price Index shows inflation ticked up to 2.6% in October from last year, with housing-related inflation accounting for half.
This was about what people expected. It shows that inflation is not where it was a couple of years ago.
So, how will all of this affect your grocery bill this Thanksgiving? Finance Buzz looked at Butterball brand turkey prices across the country earlier this year and found a 15-pound turkey, which serves about 10 people, will cost an average of around $31. That's down 12% from last year. Other items that have dropped in price, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics: potatoes and white bread. Here's what will cost you more: milk, butter, and cheese.
Making Thanksgiving a potluck is such a great way to control costs. If you're hosting Thanksgiving, it's already enough of a production just with all the work that you have to put in.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Next on IUSTV News, today is National Injury Prevention Day. The tips to prevent serious injuries.
Plus, you may need to pull out the winter coats this week. Kyla has a check of the forecast on the other side of the break.
Today is National Injury Prevention Day. In the U.S., injuries that could have been prevented are a leading cause of death for children between the ages of 1 and 19.
In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaylor has top tips from an expert for caregivers and parents to keep kids safe.
From car crashes to firearms, drownings, and unsafe sleep spaces, unintentional injuries are killing U.S. children.
These deaths are preventable. They don't need to happen.
Pediatric emergency medicine Dr. Manisha Agarwal with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says parents can help prevent some of the main dangers children face. For babies, make sure they sleep on their back, alone in a clear crib to lower suffocation risk. Once kids are older, drowning becomes a leading cause of death. Agarwal says to make sure children can't access water while unsupervised.
So making sure you have good pool fences, that you're using life jackets when you're out on natural bodies of water.
Ingestions are also a concern for young children. Agarwal says to keep button batteries and other small items out of a child's reach so they don't end up in their mouth. Car crashes are also a leading cause of death. She says to make sure children are in the seat recommended for their age and size and make sure all seats are properly installed. The next concern, firearms.
It's really important that if you have a gun in your home, that you keep it away from your child, that you store it safely, that you lock it up and make sure that your child cannot access it.
Finally, Agarwal says to make sure your child wears a helmet on things like bikes and scooters and it fits and is worn properly. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Turning to weather now, it looks like it's going to be in the 60s, feeling good. What do you think, Kyla?
Yes, we are finally out of that warm kind of state, but we do have a little surprise coming in the next week. Again, taking a look at the current temps, you see 60s, those mid-60s all around, highs being in 65 in areas of Browntown and Washington. Tomorrow, expect the temps again to be the same. We start off at 61 and we end at 66 at 4 p.m. Little bit of cloudy skies, but overall sunny. High temps for tomorrow, again, we're looking at the same temps all around this week. 60s, those mid-60s, not too bad, not too hot, not too cold. But on Thursday, expect the temps to drop by 30 degrees. We start our day off at 32 with windy skin. It's windy all day, and we ended at 38. So you may need to bring those coats out, an extra layer just to be protected from the winds and the cold. Now, taking a look at the 7-day forecast, you see we're all over the place. Starting our Tuesday off at 68 with rain. We get into those cloudy skies on Wednesday. We drop again on Thursday and Friday to those 30s, and then we see those 40s from Friday to Monday with cloudy skies, but also we do see the sun, so prepare for anything. Take a look at the weather when you wake up before you leave out for class, and make sure you're just prepared overall.
All right, Kyla, thank you.
Next in sports, Coach Sig is staying in Bloomington. Details on the multi-million-dollar deal next in sports. Stay with us.
IU is bustling as men's basketball is off to a hot start and upset by the women, and Kurt Sinay signs an 8-year contract extension. I'm Daniel Marlowe. Let's start with Signetti. IU signed an 8-year contract extension last week, which keeps Signetti in Bloomington through the 2032 season. The new deal makes him the highest paid employee to ever at IU. Signetti will make $8 million a year, $3.5 million more than his previous deal. Coach Sig will also get a $1 million bonus each year if he stays. He will become one of the highest paid coaches in the Big Ten and the country. The Hoosiers are back in action this weekend at the Horseshoe in Columbus. IU men's basketball continues their hot start this season, now 3-0 after their game this weekend against South Carolina. The Hoosiers were explosive and had stellar shooting, led by sophomore guard Miles Rice. He scored 23 points on 7 of 10 shooting from the field. The Hoosiers as a team shot 51% from the field and were 8 of 17 from 3. Defense was also a factor to 7 steals for the Hoosiers and forcing 12 turnovers while also holding the Gamecocks to 38% shooting from the field. IU stays ranked number 16 in the country as they get ready to face UNC Greensboro this Thursday. On to the women. The Hoosiers look to get back to form after the upset win over number 24, Stanford. IU was led by stellar shooting as they shot 49% from the field and 47% from three. They were led in scoring by the fifth-year senior guard Chloe McNeil with 21 points. Their defense held Stanford to 18% beyond the arc while also grabbing 5 steals. IU will look to get back in the AP poll next week as they travel down to the Bahamas to play Columbia for the Bad Boy Mowers Women's Battle for Atlantis. IU volleyball is trying to get back to form as they have 4 games left before the end of the season. IU traveled to Iowa City to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. They got beat 3-1 as they struggled to stop Iowa's offense. Senior Cameron Howard set the all-time IU Rally Era assist record. She's also first in kills, digs, and aces. They also struggled against number 2 Nebraska, who came into this game only having 1 loss in the year. They are beaten in straight sets as they look to snap the losing streak as they head back to Bloomington to take on UCLA. And for the latest on all things IU sports, be sure to tune in each week to Hoosier Sports Night. You can catch it on Thursdays on IUSTV. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Daniel, thanks.
Let's get one last check of that 7-day forecast.
Of course. Looking at the 7-day forecast, you see again, we're all over the place. We start our week off with rains on Tuesday. We get into 50s on Wednesday, 30 on Thursday, and then we maintain those 40s all throughout Friday through Monday again with clear skies, but also cloudy skies. So prepare for the best of both worlds.
It's starting to get chilly. Thank you, Kyla, and thank you for watching IUSTV News.
For updates between newscasts, check out IUSTV.com, and we look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow night. Take care.